Hello, Gerard.
Hi, Anna.
How are you today?
Very good, thank you. You too?
I'm good. I'm very good, and I'm really looking forward to our unfiltered talks today.
Me too.
Do you know what the topic is?
Seems to be me.
Yes. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You
Okay,
too?
I'm absolutely ready, and really looking forward to find some things I don't know about you. So let's grab something to drink
And let's
move
explore.
over. Yes,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Welcome to HEINEKEN Krakow Unfiltered Talks, where business meets passion. In today's episode, we meet Gerard Vries, our Centre Director, who will talk about his experience in the Krakow office.
Okay, Gerard, good to see you in this conversation.
Hi, Anna.
Another unfiltered talk for HEINEKEN Kraków, and I'm very happy to be the host of these conversations, but and also very happy and looking forward to learn a bit more about you, as
Yes.
you are not new, but quite new still in Kraków and in HEINEKEN Global Trade Services.
Yes, correct. 6 months now. I'm here. The 1st of September was the starting date. And truly enjoying so far.
Can you tell me about your previous HEINEKEN career and how it led you to Kraków?
Here,
Yeah.
at this nice place. Of course. So, after university, I joined the army. That was at that moment still a duty to have the military service. So I joined the army for a year. I had various industry lines, working with retail, transportation, but also financial services. And after 7-8 years, one of the clients I was working for said, "Hey, Gerard, would it be nice to join us?" And that was actually the bank, ABN AMRO Bank. And then actually I entered financial services for the next 18 years. I worked for the banking, I worked for insurance, but also for a French private equity firm that did some buys in the Netherlands, and I did some of the IT audits for those buys. So very different roles, different jobs. And then suddenly Jan Ong, well known here in AGSS as well, crossed my path via his partner. His partner worked also for ABN AMRO, so we knew each other. And he was looking for a person who wanted and could, as well of course, to fulfill the role of the D&T director for finance, procurement and ERP. And then I thought, okay, after a few meetings with Jan, we had quite good conversations. We had a good personal click. And then I thought, this is the opportunity for me also to leave, get out of financial services and learn a complete new industry like HEINEKEN in the FMCG. So I said, I will join HEINEKEN. I am going to do it. It's an iconic brand in the Netherlands, but also globally. It was a nice global role. It was a senior role. So I said, I'm going to do this. And I stepped in a complete new world where everyone is extremely proud on the product, on the brand. And I always make a little bit of a joke out there about everyone is very proud on the beers and the brands. That will you never see in the financial services environment, because no one is as proud on the mortgage or an insurance payment. So this is completely different. This is just a product versus a service. And that's what I like. After 5 years doing the D&T role, coming here as well, because D&T Finance, we built it up here in Krakow. The opportunity came about, hey, Gerard, would you be interested to lead AGSS in Krakow? I said, wow, that would be lovely. But I have to discuss a few things at home because this has consequences. So after 1.5 months of discussions and more discussions, we said, okay, we're going to do it. I go up for this role, and somewhere during a wedding of my niece in Tuscany, I got the phone call about you have it. So there was not a party for me at that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it always comes with the bittersweet situations like that, because you have to make decisions about the personal life, especially, right? Because professionally you are moving to another role, some growth, some developments, learning new things, but you have to settle all the...
And it has a kind of a sacrifice from that perspective. So my 2 boys are 24, 26, so they're old enough, finishing masters, pilot with KLM, so they take care of their own. But my wife is a teacher in the University of Amsterdam, so she said, the assignment is for 3 years. Do I let go then all the projects, the students, the programs, also the musician part? Although at this moment we are really looking into opportunities to see if she can be more here. Because after 6 months we already noticed about it's tough. Because I go one weekend back to Amsterdam, the other weekend she comes here, so that gives a little bit of a nice way to be together. But yeah, it's more tough than we expected a year ago or more than a year ago when we discussed it.
Yeah, it's never easy, but I'm glad it works out and you are finding the improvements. And
yeah,
because you will be here for a while with us.
We hope. At least 3 years. At least, if Heineken does not change anything, then at least 3 years. And it's a good place.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that after 6 months, and I hope that you will be saying that you will be crying when you will be leaving at some point, as it usually happens to the expats who are joining the organizations. When you are talking about your career, I was noticing that you had different experiences, different sectors, which is fantastic because we are a global shared service, Heineken Global Shared Service, and we have different functions, different things we do here. So it's how is it? It was easy to get in, or it was as a shared service you've had some experiences. Was it much different to the previous experiences? Was it much different to your previous role? Anything?
The biggest difference actually is the role that you're here. So in the previous roles, but also the other ones, you are a guest, a visitor. Hopefully appreciated guest, appreciated visitor. But being integral part of the organization is completely different, because then you deal with topics that you never dealt with before. You are confronted with issues as is this also part of the job? So that is more from a role perspective. From a content perspective, yes, it helps that I worked in the past in transportation, a little bit in retail. So it's also the way of thinking that you can easier follow. With quite a few things like the legal and the communication, the people function activities and all the processes, they are to a certain extent new for me, and that's the learning part that you said. So I bring quite some experience with me, but at the same time, and that's also the reason why I say yes, let's go to Krakow. It's also a learning experience.
Yeah, we are. I very often say it because I'm here 6 years in Heineken Kraków, and that we are different than head office and the global functions, and we are not the operating companies which we have around the world. So we are just, there are some other shared services, but it is completely different beast in a way we work and what we do and how.
And that's also what I like in this role. So being in Amsterdam, being in head office, you see one part of the story. Being here at Heineken Kraków, it's really, you see the other side. So it sometimes feels really to be on the other side of the same table. Sometimes we receive letters that I thought, okay, did I send those as well from a previous role? Why is that written in this way? It's not completely applicable. Can't we adjust that better? So having those views, learnings and experiences, it helps me as well to have a better connect also with Amsterdam.
You are not new to Heineken Kraków, as you said. You had also part of your team here, so you were visiting us. Yeah. But coming here, being here for 6 months, and exploring more the organization and people. If you think about people in this organization, is it something for you which stands out or surprised you comparing to any other teams you work with or organizations you work with?
Yeah. And there are a few things. So the first one is the vibrant culture that we have here. The things we do together, but really what is all organized, it's almost mind-blowing. It's like, okay, we do the career festivals, we do the kindness days. That's actually the reason why we had also that award 2 weeks ago that you luckily could receive on behalf of Heineken Krakow. So there's a lot going on, but all with positive energy. And sometimes have the idea that if we ask for 5 volunteers, we get 10 or 15, and even we need to choose. And that's almost a luxury, because everyone is so enthusiastic, so engaged to contribute. Let's see how we can fix this. Instead of, we should not do, we cannot do, I don't want to do. That's even the more worst part. But that is what I seldom see here. It's really that can-do mentality that stands out and is recognized by a lot of colleagues, visitors that are here coming as well. And they tell it often about, wow, this is an organization that with a lot of energy, and that's beautiful.
So that's organization. How's Krakow? How do you find Krakow?
I find it a very nice, I call it a town. Not really a city, it's for me more a town. And it's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful city. So the place where I live, I can do also by foot. I go to the old town or to Kazimierz, the Jewish neighborhood. It's very close to the river, so it's a beautiful place. People also that are visiting me or that I talk to in Krakow. Oh, you live in Krakow? Wow, that's such a beautiful place. And of course, it has a nice atmosphere. It's relatively small, although the size is still big, but the center is quite small. And yeah, it has also some of the surprises. And I
was
think.
Going to ask you.
Oh,
about
okay,
that
good.
as well.
Yeah, lovely.
Go ahead.
And because if you cross a street in Amsterdam, you watch at least 4 or 5 times before you really take the risk.
With the crazy bikes, you
and the cars, and they don't stop, etc. The moment you do an intent to cross the street here, cars are stopping, and I love that right from the start. Then I found out actually there are big fines on it if you don't stop. So it's a little bit forced from that perspective, but still, if you're just going by foot, it's easy to cross. I find it also a very clean city. Because, well, I compare then to Amsterdam, but I found Krakow much more clean than Amsterdam. Not too much graffiti. There's also quite some protection there, but also the garbage, etc. So that's nice. And another one, and I go by tram to the office. I think it's 4 zlotys for 20 minutes. If I take in Amsterdam the tram from one stop to the other, it already starts with 7 zlotys as a starting tariff. So public transport is good organized and relatively cheap to what I was used to. So it's good restaurants, nice walking, nice parks, good river. So yeah. Yeah.
Good to hear. Yeah, I like Krakow. I'm not originally from Krakow, but when I came to studies, I knew that this will be the place where
Originally you're from?
I'm from Nowy Sącz, which is 100 kilometers south of Poland, so closer to the mountains.
Yeah.
So I came here to study, and I said, this is my place. And I traveled, and I lived for a few years here and there. But I knew this is going to be my base because of all the things you say. And if you look at the culture, we are Europe, but of course, for many years you've been in the Western Bloc. We were in the Eastern Bloc. A lot of things changed since 89 and the world. But do you see differences and in the culture from the cultural perspective here?
I see a few things. At least in the first 6 months, and most likely I will discover more the longer you are here. If I start with more the food, so I'm really not used to have warm dishes as lunch, and actually I found out that I think the Polish word for lunch is dinner, and I found that very applicable because it's almost a dinner. I think also from a hospitality perspective, the amount of food that is made available is incredible. You never can finish it, and happily we can share it then in the kitchens with all the colleagues if there are a few things left over. And the level of sugar, sweetness, wow. We had that career festival, and I made a little bit of a suggestion about maybe next time it's the career and sugar festival because there's so much sweets and so much thing, and even in the shops, and they're nice. They're very good. I cannot more agree. But you also see it in the shops, and I sometimes say, well, it looks like that. For example, the brand Milka has a special Polish line with all kind of products because I never see it anywhere than the products here in the shelf. So. That's more on the food part.
Try going to Polish house, then you will see. You'll be eating and eating and eating, and there will be no stop.
Polish house.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're invited, don't eat for a week.
That's a good tip. Thanks. The other one is, of course, also more the hierarchy. I think the culture is more with a hierarchical view system than in the Netherlands, where hierarchy, it exists, but it also not exists. And that's also something I need to get used to, because it's a different way of interaction with colleagues. Another one, maybe from a catching up perspective, would be the bikes. I see more bike lanes in Poland. Sometimes they stop quite abrupt because there's a tree or a fence, and they say, "Okay, how do I get around this part?" But it's good to see that there's some improvements there to facilitate the biking as well. And I'm going on the bike to the office once, also in the afternoon. It's more light or early evening when I go home. Because I always say to people, how is Krakow? How is the bike? I said, you need to bike like you drive a car in Amsterdam. You need to have your eyes in the front and the back, because not everyone is used to bikes on the road. So I don't dare to bike in the darkness. So I just wait until the light is still there, early evening. But then I go back on the bike to the office. Yeah.
Well, my experience in Amsterdam on the bike, I went once and we took. There are bikes in HEINEKEN office you can get
the green ones.
And go around. So we went moving to another office, and there was an experience, because I bike, but that's something different.
Next level.
This is like you are saying about cars here. You have to have your head, eyes around your head, because of bikers, because they just go. They it's like their natural habitat. They just don't. They know where to go, where to stop. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But good experience. I could go back much easily. Getting back to the office, but. Going there, it was, oh my God. God. So you bike, but what else do you do? In your free time, in Krakow when you're here?
Yeah.
By yourself, or when your wife joins you and your family joins you?
Yeah. So being here, living on myself, there's a risk of having a little bit of I call it one-dimensional life. Meaning sleeping, eating, working, and that's and I like working. Don't get me wrong. It's very nice, and I truly enjoy it. But at a certain moment, you think, okay, there must be more. And then then I saw, I think it was during the Christmas break in the on Workplace, I saw an announcement of the HESS running club about please join us. And I run myself normally on the Sundays. So I thought that's a good one. It's on Wednesday evening, and then it's a nice break in the week. So since January, I joining the HESS running club, like I did yesterday. I still feel it's still intense, more longer distances than I normally do when I run on my own. So now I run 2 times a week on the Wednesday evening with the running club, and somewhere in the weekend I also go to the gym.
Do you run always in the same place, or go different places in Krakow?
Depends. The famous answer depends. No. If I do my own run, I actually because I don't live too far from the river, so actually I cross the bridge to Rondo Grunwaldski, and then I follow the river bank up. No, not up north. It's actually up south. To the south. Then I cross the bridge and I run to Boigna, and then it's about 6-7 kilometers with the HESS running club. I never know where we go and where we end.
But it's still evening, so
it's still in the evening, dark, so that's good. So sometimes we do a few rounds of Boigna, sometimes we do 1 round, and then we do some exercises in the park. Last week we went also to the river and actually took the track that I always do in the weekend on my own. So it depends which day it is that I run. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of new things, and if you look in the future, and what do you wish for for HESS Krakow, but also if you look about Poland and our beautiful city, and if you think about us and the world around us. If in this direction, what comes to your mind?
The growth is enormous. A lot of articles also in the Financial Times or in some of the financial newspapers that I read every morning when I wake up. But then the growth machine of Poland is impressive. It's just number one in Europe if you compare it for the last 20, 30 years, the growth of the GDP, it's incredible. You also see it in the FX rates, the currency exchange rates, because the zloty is getting stronger and stronger. So something is really working at this moment good for Poland. If it gets more stronger, then of course it can have some export consequences, which then is the downside of a strong position. From an HESS perspective, we are a growth engine. We know how to work. We know how to absorb. We have seen that in the past. At this moment, we have about 2,250 colleagues here, and we're only 13 years old.
Lucky number.
A lucky number, yeah. And this way, it's a very lucky number. So, and especially the last few years, there was an exponential growth. I believe 24. It was about plus 400 positions this year. We expect maybe the same number from various functions. So yes, we are a growth engine. We know how to absorb work. We know how to deliver the quality. We have the capabilities, the expertise, and the good people. So I'm quite comfortable that we are able to continue with the quality level that we have, and at the same time also to absorb more work, because almost every week colleagues are visiting us and discussing, most likely with you, but also with me, about, hey, I would like to bring a few more positions here. How should I do that? And luckily, we started in time with the business services onboarding approach. And it sounds a little bit of a boring word, but it's very much needed.
Very important.
Very much needed. Because I think one of the biggest risks and one of the things that really keeps me awake and busy is about overpromise, underdeliver. Because then the whole good name and the branding that we did for the last years, actually we're throwing away. And I fear that thought. So we need to be in control. We need to have a controlled growth, but we can manage it.
We've done a lot of work to be where we are. I joined 6 years ago and it was 800 people. So there's a lot of work, but also a lot of changes, how we work and, what kind of energy and engagement we have. So it would be good to keep it this way and not lose it, what we have,
Absolutely.
the great things. My last question, how's your Polish?
Starting, maybe that's the best. That's the best way. Funny enough, last Monday I had my first Polish lesson. It was planned 1 month earlier, on the Monday as well. But then on the Friday I got the message: your teacher resigned, so that was cancelled. So I have a new teacher now. So once a week I will start with the Polish lessons. I had my first one, what I said, last Monday. I was quite tired, to be honest, at the end of that 1 hour. And I do some Duolingo, which I normally would do with the Italian language for my holidays. But I thought, okay, I switched to Polish. So it is the words, but you miss the grammar, and then you miss the structure, actually. And I hope with this teacher I also get a little bit more on the grammar and get that structure. So the intent is definitely there. I cannot more agree. It is a complex language to learn for a Dutch person. But I have met a few Dutch people here in the office that do speak Polish. Also some French people that do speak Polish. So I said, okay, let's give it a try. At least it's a good intent.
Keeping my fingers crossed. It is not the easy language everybody says, but this is the best way to learn, also to immerse in the the community and going around and buying your bread and going.
And that's the whole point. When we went to the market on the Saturday morning, I love those markets, by the way. It's just the way the stuff and the way it's presented and the bus going around there. But then you need to pay. And then the Polish said, zloty. Oh, sorry, what? Zloty. And then luckily a guy said to me, 32 zlotys. Thank you. Because I can recognize the numbers, and then you feel really bad and not comfortable. So this is the level I would like to understand, that at least I can start communicating and being more an integral part of the Krakow community.
Good luck. I will check in 6 months how your Polish is. But thank you very much for this conversation. It was very nice knowing you better and getting some information I didn't know yet. And see you around. Thank you very much.
You too, Eva. Thank you very much.
Make sure you tune in to other episodes of Heineken Unfiltered Talks and get to know our fascinating employees,